Good afternoon, Sage here, and you're watching Kalkine TV live from Sydney, and this is the Mid-Market Pulse show. Let us look at how the ASX 200 is trading today by midday, and the trading session amid the several triggers pulling down the strings of the ASX 200. Well, the Australian shares continue to trade lower by Tuesday afternoon as worsening COVID situations in the country and losses real estate, banks, miners and energy stocks weighed on the market sentiment amid the virus woes. And the growing concerns about the spread of the Delta variant of the coronavirus and subsequent lockdowns have left investors jittery. And the S&P ASX 200 is trading lower by 0.8% at 7,247 during the mid-market session. Early today, the index opened on a weak note, undermining firms' cues from the US markets. And on Monday, Wall Street ended mostly higher as weaker than expected inflation data and news that US President Joe Biden has signed a bipartisan infrastructure deal boosted market sentiments. Moving on to the sectoral front, most of the indices are bleeding in the red. In a rare sight, 10 of the 11 sectoral indices are trading lower. The A-REIT sector emerged as a top loser, falling 1.8%. And among others, energy, utilities, financials, telecom, industrials and consumer discretionary also witnessed selling pressure. Moving on again, among the individual stocks, grocery and hardware supplier Metcash is the top percentage gainer on the ASX, rising 4.5%. And the Australian business conglomerate has reported sharp turnaround in profits and robust sales, supported by significant growth across all verticals. And some of the other gainers are payment solutions firm Zip, infant formula player A2 Milk and healthcare firm Helios. On the flip side, Unibail Rodamco Westfield, a global operator of shopping centres and the worst performer on the ASX, falling 4.65%. And besides Whitehaven Coal, Abacus Property Group and energy infrastructure firm APA Group are also reeling under selling pressure. Then in the banking sector, all big four lenders, Westpac Banking Corporation, Commonwealth Bank of Australia and New Zealand Banking Group, as well as the NAB, National Australia Bank, are trading lower, expending the fall for the second day. And moving on to the energy space, ASX-listed energy stocks witnessed selling pressure due to the fall in crude oil prices. The crude oil prices tumbled nearly 2% overnight due to a spike in the COVID-19 cases in Europe and Asia ahead of OPEC's meeting. And the gas producer Santos Limited, Papua New Guinea's focused oil and gas explorer Oil Search Limited and the liquid natural gas major Woodside Petroleum Limited were also among the top losers. And in a similar trend, gold miners are also reeling under pressure as investors were caught between expectations of an early interest rate hike by Fed and fears of a surge in a highly contagious Delta variant of the coronavirus. The spot gold was down 0.2% at US $1,775 an ounce. Sector heavyweights Newcrest Mining Limited, Northern Star Resources Limited and Silver Lake Resources Limited, as well as De Grey Mining Limited, are emerging as the top laggards. And on that note, let us focus on the shares that are in the news today. The share price of owner of chains of retail stores, Kathmandu Holdings, dropped 2.7% to reach $1.44 Australian after the retail chain operator said that lockdowns across New South Wales and Western Australia will hurt its earnings. The company, which owns surfwear brand Rip Curl, has 40 stores closed in New South Wales for a minimum of 2 weeks and 26 stores closed in Western Australia for a minimum of 4 days to contain the spread of the coronavirus in the region. And due to the fresh curbs, the group expects the lowered total sales forecast for financial year 21 to reach 930 million Australian dollars and underlying EBITDA at 120 million Australian dollars. The impact of the New South Wales and recent Victorian lockdowns and associated movement restrictions is estimated to be 13 million Australian dollars on EBITDA. And moving on, shares of private health insurance player Medibank rose 0.6% to reach $3.17 Australian after the health insurer announced that it will return 105 million Australian dollars in COVID-19 permanent net claims savings to customers through a premium relief. The financial support package will provide relief to nearly 2 million policyholders. The give back will be available to Australian Medibank and AHM customers holding an active hospital and or extras policy at any time during the period between July 1st, 2020 and June 30th, 2021. And besides, Worley shares dropped 1.35% to reach $11.70 Australian, even after the company won a new services contract for Syrah Technologies' new graphite facility in Louisiana, USA. Syrah Technologies is a fully owned subsidiary of ASX-listed mineral explorer Syrah Resources, which is up 1% to reach $1.03 Australian. As per the contract, Worley will provide detailed engineering and procurement services for the expansion of production capacity at Syrah's active A-node material facility. The services will be executed by Worley's US Gulf Coast team with support from Worley's global integrated delivery team in India. Then the shares of Link Administration Holdings Limited is trading flat at $4.98 Australian after the admin services provider said that plans to retain a slightly smaller shareholding in property settlements platform PEXA or PEXA. And the proposed ASX listing date of the PEXA IPO is the 1st July. In the filing, Link said that it will retain up to 44% holdings in the listed entity as compared to 47% proposed earlier. The company will receive around 180 million Australian dollars in the listing as net cash proceeds. And now it's time for a short break, but please stay tuned. I'll be back with more trending updates.
Tune in to get the latest information.
Whether it's about market movements or the currency graph,
sectoral coverage or industry news.
We cover it all on our news segments.
Be on top of the latest news
with Kalkine TV.
Welcome back, Sage here, your host from Kalkine Studio, live from Sydney, and you're watching the show, The Mid-Market Show. Let us continue and discuss a few more buzzing stocks that are under the investors' radar today. Well, body scanning app maker Advanced Human Imaging Limited gained as much as 5.3% to reach $1.28 Australian after the company signed a term sheet with Singapore-based BizBaz Pte to integrate the AHI's complete scan technology into the BizBaz application. AHI's complete scan technology is used to recognise individuals' health, well-being and chronic disease risk. And under the terms, BizBaz will target 100,000 active users on the BizBaz platform within the first 12 months. Then Castillo Copper shares gained 5.5% to reach 3.8 Australian cents after the copper miner reported encouraging preliminary results from the drilling at its Big One deposit. And the company stated as compared to the drill holes from the 2020 campaign, this time CCZ undertook a deeper drilling, and as a result it's intersected mineralisations within and external to the Trachite dike, and it is a significant discovery as it supports interpretations from the recent IP survey. The IP survey states that copper mineralisation is controlled by major structural trends rather than constrained purely within the Trachite dike. And in addition, fresh interpretations from the preliminary observations verify that known mineralisation has been extended. And further insights will become apparent once assays under the fast track request are returned from the lab. Moving on again, Australian resources company Marvel Gold Limited announced results from multi-element soil geochemistry and ground magnetics programs at the Tabakoro Gold Project located in southern Mali. The project is held under two separate joint ventures, the Oklo joint venture and the Alta Strategies PLC joint ventures. And following the announcement, shares of Marvel rose 8% to reach 5.3 cents. Australia's leading diagnostics company, Bard1 Life Sciences, today announced that previously reported study results for a potential Bard1 autoantibody test for early detection of ovarian cancer were published on the 25th of June 2021 in the international peer-reviewed journal Genes. And the study data published in Genes were previously shared by the company as positive results from its OC-CA125 and OC-R001 studies in ovarian cancer. And these studies were done at the University of Geneva. Well, the next stock under the discussed is a Perth-based oil and gas company. Brookside Energy Limited shared that US major ExxonMobil Corporation has confirmed its participation as a non-operated working interest partner in the dual DSU. Then the resource company Strike Resources Limited has provided updates in relation to its Paulsens East iron ore mine on 29th June 2021, and the company is developing the 1.5 MTPA Paulsens East iron ore project in Western Australia. And after an extensive process of evaluation of submissions from multiple parties, Strike has entered into early contractor involvement, or ECI, services agreements with the preferred contractors to provide drill and blast, mining, crushing and screening services and civil works for Paulsens East. And meanwhile, Australian healthcare firm PKS Holdings Limited shared on 29th June 2021 that it has successfully renewed key contracts as well as secured new clients in Australia and internationally as it moves ahead with its growth pipeline. And last but not least, Duckerton Mining Limited has reported that it has completed drilling 6 drill holes at the Rosie Nickel project. The project is progressing well and mineralisations have been intersected at all drill holes. In addition, DKM said that massive Stronger and Blebby sulfides over a 6-metre interval were discovered in its most recent drilling. And that's all for now. Please stay tuned with Kalkine TV for more live market updates, and we'll be back with more news on the markets, economies and diverse themes and sectors. Sage signing off.